Yeah, we're 50, 60 and up, and we want to create a one-person business that's generating 1K per day. I know it sounds hypey, I know it sounds cheesy, but I'm going to take you through a plan, the system, step by step in this video series. And today is step number 1. Are we ready? Yeah. All right, now I'm talking to myself, but and I'm going to be documenting all this stuff too. If you're interested in it, make sure below to just in the comments write 1K. Okay, and you get all the information. But here we go. Let's start with step number 1. The first thing, before you even come up with your idea, and that's where most people start. Like, oh, here's my idea. I want to create a program for this, or I want to do that, and I want to sell this, or I want to do a newsletter, I want to do a course. They come up with all their ideas. Then they spend months or years building it, and then they're like, well, what the heck do I do now? How do I sell it? And then they come to me in a panic. Throw all that crap out the window, okay? Let's forget all of that right now. I've been building businesses since the late 90s online. I want to share with you, this is my exact system, what I want to do. Now, so before we get into your idea and how to differentiate and your brand and your logo and setting up, do I do an S Corp or, an LLC? Don't worry about any of that. The first thing we do, step 1, is organize all of our thoughts and come up with like a system, a process. Because if you just start creating products and programs and throwing out there, it's going to be overwhelming. Because you go down rabbit holes and you start watching webinars and people are pitching all these expensive programs and, oh, I'll coach you, I'll get you to $100,000 a month, and the first, here's a testimonial, and you're lost. And then you're like, well, what software do I use and what program do I do? Email. All you need to do right now, step 1, is look at it as your entire day is going to be 3 different tasks, okay? Everything you're going to do to get to this magical 1K per day as we're getting older, right? So we can listen to records the rest of our day, is to chunk everything into just three tasks, 3 things, okay? That's it. Every single thing we're going to cover in this ongoing series, and we're going to keep going and going and going, is going to fall, every activity is going to fall into one of these 3 buckets, let's call them. The first, and it's GWB. And I'm an original New Yorker, and the GWB for us was the George Washington Bridge. But for this sake, the GWB stands for Grow, Write, and Bank, okay? First third of your day is going to be grow, which is marketing, which is traffic. So just, again, we're in step 1, just think from a broad perspective, what is your marketing strategy going to be? Are you going to do YouTube videos? Is this going to be your thing? Like YouTube to drive people to buy programs and products and e-commerce, whatever it's going to be? Or are you going to be on TikTok? Or are you going to be on something more of a written format, LinkedIn or X or Facebook or Instagram, whatever? At this point, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Just let's start thinking globally from a traffic perspective. Or are you saying, you know what, I think I'm going to do ads. Like I want to have more control of my traffic, and I'm okay doing ads on Meta or YouTube, whatever it's going to be. Again, doesn't matter right now. We just need to know this is going to be my strategy going forward. So we've got the first thing. The first third of your day is growth and traffic, because you need that. If you're just sitting there writing a newsletter or coming up with cool quote unquote ideas and not actually getting in front of people, it doesn't matter. You're not going to grow your business. So we need to do the traffic stuff. The second letter is the W, which is writing, which is this really is my secret sauce, and this is how I built generated millions of dollars through a majority, up to 90% of sales come through email. That's right, email, writing and communicating with your tribe. You think, well, these influencers, they're building fans, they're getting followers, and they just say, hey, buy my product, they say millions. No, they don't. In most cases, they don't. In most cases, unless you're like Mr. Beast and have hundreds of millions of people, and so maybe you have a few thousand followers, or the majority of your sales, especially for programs or products like information stuff and knowledge base, are going to come in email. So that is a really important lever we have to pull, and a very important bucket. So think about it. Grow, which is traffic, writing, which is the communication. It could be in groups too, like maybe you have a Facebook group. And the third letter is B, which is the bank, which is the monetization. And that is the quote unquote ideas. That's going to be what kind of program I'm going to create. What's the course? What's the pricing? Is it a membership site? Is it a premium newsletter? Do I want to do live events? Do I want to do coaching, or do I want to do consulting? Do I want to do e-commerce? I've done all of these. And here's the thing, they all can and do work. Absolutely, they all can work. But if you spend all of your day obsessing over the product and none of your day with the growth, which is traffic, and with the writing, which is the communication, that you could have the best idea in the world. It's like the tree falling in the forest. Doesn't really matter. So that is still an important part, but it's all part of the holistic system. So the idea behind getting to 1K per day is, step one is just, what does this look like? Okay. And every single, you throw a task at me, tell me anything right here, and I'm going to put it into one of these 3 buckets. One of these 3. And the minute you know that, like, a lot of the stress starts to melt away, because this can become overwhelming. If we're a little bit older, we didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't have the internet when I was I had 3 channels. I had ABC, CBS, and NBC. That was it. So we had Love Boat at night, and if your parents were later, Fantasy Island. Like, we didn't have all of this information, all this content on demand. We didn't grow up with it, so it's something that we've had to learn. But with an online business, more of a lifestyle business, during our second act, it can really feel overwhelming if you're just like, okay, I want to start a business. What do I do? But if you just, every time you feel overwhelmed, you take a step back and say, okay, what does this fall into? Everything you do, you have to have just maniacal, absolute, obsessive focus with simplicity. Because the more complexity you're going to add to this business, the more it's going to be confusing for not only your potential customer and client, but for you. And it's going to be more things to manage, and more steps, and more things that can break. The simpler you make it, the better it's going to be for everyone. Please trust me on this. I use one program to manage almost my entire business. It manages my website, my blog, all of my courses, all of my products, all of my email, everything. It's called Kajabi. This isn't an ad for Kajabi. I do have a link below if you want. I have a special link where you get 30 days for free below. That's besides, by the way, it's another revenue stream as an affiliate. But you want it simple, and you want the idea to be like, okay, I know I want to create a 1K per day business. I know this is what I want to do. I know I kind of want to think about premium courses, but I'm putting that on the back burner for now. Every time I feel overwhelmed, I'm coming back to one of these 3 buckets, one of these 3 levers to pull, and everything's going to fall into place. So that's it. I know some people would teach this stuff who haven't had a lot of experience, and they start with, oh, dude, you just got to create a premium, just create $1,000 product and sell 1 a day, and you got 1K a day. But they don't tell you the real stuff. They don't tell you the overwhelm. They don't tell you what happens when you don't get new people in, and when one thing breaks. So we're taking our time with this, okay? Today, step 1, breathe. Everything's gonna be good. One of these 3 things, and in this series, we're going to start getting into finding your niche, finding your market, pricing, products, selling, marketing, sales. We're getting all that, so whatever you want. But if you want even more stuff, just write 1K below, and we'll do it. And if you want to make sure that my big stupid face pops up all the time, and you can help me share this, please just like and subscribe, because that helps me. And now what we're going to do, now depending when you see this video, when I'm uploading it, you might be able to click right here and see the next video in this series, or if it's live, you might not see it till tomorrow, but we're going to keep clicking, and we're going to keep going and going and going, because the 1-person business, 1K per day, 50, 60 and over, we friggin' got this. I'll see you in the next video.